Outside Talks Double Cab Pickups. I'm Mark Owen. Today, my guest is Glen Collingbourne from Hazlewoods Accountants and Business Advisors. Glen, we're talking double cab pickups, the changes of tax rules for them. Can you tell us all about it, please?
Certainly can, yeah. So this was announced in the budget only a very short while ago. Possibly came in a little bit stealthy and hasn't been massively observed. But something called a double cab pickup, you'll have seen them on the roads all the time. It looks like a traditional pickup. It's got a flatbed at the back, and in the front, they call it double cab because not only have you got a driver and a passenger, you've also got a row of seats behind. So actually, it works quite well as a family vehicle. So if you know anybody in construction, you'll probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they've got a double cab pickup, which is supplied by their employer, or certainly their workforce will have them. They're really useful. You can carry goods, really helpful also as a private vehicle, for you to use for your family. So tax-wise, it's charged as what we call a benefit in kind. You've heard of company car benefits, similar thing, except it's taxed as a van. Because it's taxed as a van, the tax charge is really low cost, it's really efficient. So what's happened in the budget is they've said that from the 1st of April 25, these things will no longer be considered a van, they'll be considered a car. So at the moment, just a standard calculation. It doesn't matter how much the double cab pickup was purchased for. It's very straightforward. So I've done a few little numbers here. So if we assume that your double cab is supplied by your employer and they also pay for your fuel, then for somebody who pays tax at the higher rate, which is 40%, then the tax cost for them is £1,887.
Okay.
That's over a whole year. So that comes over as quite inexpensive. If that double cab pickup is again changed in rules so that it becomes a car for these purposes, then the tax cost will be horrendous. So you're probably aware that if you follow any of this sort of thing, that company cars are becoming sort of have gone out of fashion, really. It's not the
Yeah.
case that people have company cars as much as they used to because of the tax cost. And so if I was just to throw some numbers together and give us a worst case scenario, if we imagine a double cab pickup costs £45,000 and provided by your employer, they also pay for your fuel. And because it's probably got a thumping big diesel engine, we'll just assume that it's quite high on CO2. CO2 is
Yeah.
one of the factors we consider for calculating benefits in kind. Well, that means the tax cost for a 40% taxpayer would be £10,775. So a huge increase.
Well, hold on. Let me just work that out. So it's £10,775. Take away 1,887, I think you said. So
Yeah.
that's £8,888
Yeah. What an enormous
more
amount. That's actual tax that's going to come out of your pay packet in a year. So you can
in a
imagine your
year.
net in a year. So your net pay is going to fall quite significantly.
Wow. So if you're on £45,000 is what you use that calculator for. So
Yeah.
you could take £45,000, take away £8,888, and suddenly you've actually back down your salary is worth 36,120. You better love that pickup. You better love
Yeah,
it
yeah,
big time.
absolutely. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you'd probably be on a bit more than that to get into 40%, but you're right. That's the basic principle. That's coming out of you, and that's your after tax pay. So if you're on gross pay of 55,000 or whatever the figure is, then obviously your net is lower anyway. But before it was lower by only what, £150 a month or something. Now we're talking about about several £100 a month. So that's
And when,
significant.
when do all these rules come in, Glenn?
So that's from the 1st of April 25 or 6th of April 25 if it's not a company. And that's for purchases of new pickups. When I say new, I don't necessarily mean brand new from the dealership. I just mean new to that person. If you currently have a double cab pickup, you're okay. So it won't hit you straight away. So you'll carry on with the old van rules, let's call it, until either that van's gone or you get to the later of tax year 28, 29, which is so then it'll become a car for those purposes from then on. I'll just flag as well. That's a cost to the employee. There is a cost to the employer as well. So we've in the budget we
Wow.
know that national insurance for employers is increasing. Well, for the old double cab pickup when it was a van, using that example, the employer's national insurance on that is £650 a year. So nothing too significant. However, if it's treated as a van in the future, the employer's national insurance is going to go up to £4,040 using my example. That can vary because it depends on how much the CO2 emissions are and the price of the vehicle, the list price of the vehicle. But that was working on some basic numbers.
My God! So let me just go back to the chancellor would get 8,888 from the employee, and
Yeah,
the employer would also have to pay £4,040. So
yeah,
basically, they're saying that she would rake in another £12,928 from doing
yeah,
that from one pickup. How many pickups are there in this country? Why would anybody buy one, Glenn? The
yeah. That's
market's
right.
going to fall out.
Absolutely right. Yeah, I can imagine that. I'd have thought the industry, the double cab pickup manufacturing industry, might have something to say about it because I'd have thought the bottom will fall out of their market. They've objected to this before. It's been tried in the past and it was turned around very quickly. That was by the previous government. I do wonder now. Obviously, Labour, looking for these little bits of extra bunts. I think it might be hard pressed to get them to turn that around.
They're made in I don't know where they're made, but the big Ford pickups and stuff like that, made in Dagenham. I don't know. I don't know enough about the double cab pickup. I just
Yeah,
see them around everywhere, Glenn.
yeah,
Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for now. But thanks ever so much for explaining that. Absolutely fantastic.
no problem.
If you like the show, please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll catch you again very, very soon. Cheers. Bye.